But so I'm Clay Burney. I really appreciate y'all being here. I see there's a lot of familiar faces in here. A lot of the people I work with, and then I've worked with for a long time, and then some people that've been around here for a while. But this market is funky, right? And there's people who are getting into it. People have been doing it forever. People, and then everything in between. And I think that we were just talking about with Tony Robbins, like just sharing with each other some things that are working and like the commitments that we're like sticking to, and like what really helps us be successful, because there's some pretty successful people in this room, not just up here. There's a couple out here too. So I thought, like, hey, let's get the band together and start talking about like what we're doing now, what we've been through to get to where we are, and just kind of openly share what I think are some of the successful tactics, and you're going to see patterns. Right. So the goal today is just to get you some more information. And actually, I think it's also really helpful when you start to hear the same thing over and over, and it kind of normalizes your activities and the things that you're aiming for. I don't know about you, but like when people in activities and stuff gets validated, like it just makes more sense and it gets easier to do. Things change, right? AI, markets, all that stuff is up and down all the time. But at the end of it, I think the fundamentals, the activities that you have to do, that's never going to change. As long as you're in sales, right? You agree? Yeah. Agree. So this is Anthony Gibson. We've been friends for a while. Tell us who you are.
Tell us who I am. That's a little deeper, but I'll go into my little getting into real estate. So I started... I was buying my first house in 2007. Used a friend who was in the bar business, who I was working on 6th Street downtown, and was working at Gold's Gym. And back then it was the stated income piece, because we had cash, but we didn't actually have it documented. But he showed us one house. He was getting paid 6% commission from D.R. Horton. Listened to him, didn't really tell us about pros, cons, or what would happen if we tried to sell. In the 3-year cycle at that time, we would have been upside down. We actually went to get the mortgage insurance off, and at that point, a buddy of ours also was in the bar business. He was running mortgages. Instead of just ordering an appraisal to get our mortgage insurance off, we end up having to refi, so that cost us money. So it was a big teaching point before we got into real estate that led us to, if you do this right, you put the client first, you will do right by people, and then you can make really good money. Yeah. So we ended up getting in real estate 2009, 2010, right when the market was pretty hard, right? So it was
like it is now.
I was like, what's funny is you feel like it's a down market, just like we were getting into, but once you get to where I'm at, it feels completely different, because then I knew nothing else other than to grind and work through it. So got into real estate with my business partner at the time. At that point, Keller Williams was really coaching you to be on one side, like buyer specialist or listing specialist. I was a buyer specialist. What I did best was I was working at Gold's Gym, and at that point you had to make 100 phone calls a day. Basically had to get people in the door. So the phone became my friend, and I was not scared of that. I was scared of working with friends, so I didn't lean into my sphere. I actually leaned into open houses. So open houses were the thing that I did for Saturday and Sunday for 2 years. And at that point, a lot of homes weren't selling. There was a lot of expires and withdrawals, and we were calling on those like there is today, and providing value, right? We call them buyer-specific improvements and repairs, but the people that were doing the repairs was me. Like, we were painting rooms, we were doing repairs, we were doing all the things to show our worth, and then we were staging the homes back then, which not a lot of people were doing. Yeah. But it was with our own furniture from our house. So it was the same Ashley black fake pleather couches and 55-inch TV that we just took from our home, and we would move it to every single listing. So back then here at Keller Williams, you had flyers and you put them on your door of all your listings that were coming soon or you had, as your like badge of honor, and like you just see these couches in every single listing. So
Remember the box TVs that people would hang on the wall?
yeah, I've seen those come back. So what led me to being successful, and I believe what has put me in, I would say the thing that I continue to always do is fill the funnel, right? Back then I didn't have the knowledge, so I dressed up. I wore like suits, so everybody would see me in the office in here on certain days, and I'd be wearing suspenders because I didn't have the knowledge. But if you actually dressed up, I had people ask me less questions. They just assumed I knew what I was doing. So kind of that was my jam.
It's a great hack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Worked well.
Gary? Y'all know Gary Steele, Ranch and Land, been around for 35 years. He's just quick rundown on who you are. Don't let me do it. Do it.
I've been in the business 35 years. So I moved to Austin after I graduated from college in Mexico State. Moved out here
Played
as a
football.
subcontractor. And just got married. Met my wife on 6th Street. I'm sure you guys know
Hey,
that.
me too.
Anyway, I decided to buy a house. And by gosh, I could save 3% if I get my license, right? So I went and got my license, went to night school and got my license and bought a house. And I'll be darned if, just to save the 3%. And then I was still with my subcontracting business, but I decided one day, I just said, you know what, I think I'm gonna do an open house. Because I heard this guy saying that he just put under contract a $400,000 deal and he got all this money. And I said, well, shit, if he could do that, I could do that.
That was a long time ago. 400 grand, 12 grand is a lot of money.
A lot of money, right? Well, sure enough, I did an open house and I sold it while I was working the open house. And I said, well, shit, that's easy. You know, and I can get along with anybody, really. So, I mean, if we were all at a bar, we'd have good 15, 20 minute, 30 minute talks together. But anyhow, I did another open house 2-3 weeks later. And I would ask my broker, which was Jackson Properties out in Oak Hill, who, you know, if
I remember
anybody.
them, yeah.
And you can do an open house on my deals. I went and did an open house and sold it. So that's 2 open houses, 2 solds.
Now you're hooked.
Now I'm hooked. Now my business is up for sale. And I went into real estate full time. And I learned, and I was new here, right? So I mean, how are you gonna do cold calls? Who are you gonna cold call? You know, you do open houses. I was the king of open houses. I did open houses every single weekend for 4 years. Except on holidays, didn't do them when UT played at home, right? So I just started doing open houses and I was keeping track of my open houses. And within a couple of years, I figured that for every 11 leads that I got, I converted 1. So my mindset was, I need 2 deals a month, right? So that's 22 leads, and the best way to do that is doing open houses, by far. And that's how I got my career started.
Pattern number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And did really successful at it. My first year I did 2 million. Second year I did 3 million. Next year was 4 million.
This is 35 years ago, right?
This is a
This is
long
when
time
agents,
ago.
the top was like 8 million a year, right?
And there wasn't too many people doing open houses back then,
Yeah.
you know?
Why? You want to tell them why?
And then they used to have HUDs. Anybody remember the HUDs? They were vacant homes.
Yeah.
Well, you had to do a little class on the HUD and how to do an open
Go
house
get
and
the
on
key.
it.
Yeah.
But you had to be the first one there. So you'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you'd run to that HUD for Saturday morning. And if you're the first one there, you get to do the open house.
Whoa.
And that's how they sold for foreclosures. And, but it was a good living. So life's going on, and I had to, change gears. Okay, I can do open houses, I know that, but I'm gonna pick a subdivision and farm, right? And so I picked Sunset Canyon out in Dripping Springs,
How many houses are there?
1,000,
1,000 houses.
yeah. So that was my next goal mine. So I started farming Sunset Canyon. I started sending out postcards. I'm a firm believer in print. A lot of people don't do it. I do it all the time. And I picked Sunset Canyon out, did my postcards, started doing newsletters, started doing open houses. I'd find a vacant house with other agents' listings that were vacant. I said, hey, you need somebody to do an open house on your vacant house over there? And they said, yeah, you can do that. So I would do that. And I said, listen, sometimes I might have to take off for lunch. Do you want me to lock the door when I leave, or do you want me to leave it open? Because I would do an open house for 6 hours. So, you get all the signs out there, and you just never know
Yeah, they walk in.
when they walk in. And so having a vacant house was good for me, because I was able to, if somebody came in, let me back up a little bit. So when you do an open house, you find a really nice home that's higher priced than your open house, and one that's lower priced than your open house, because somebody that's gonna come in might be out of their price range. And so I would tell them to drive by this house and drive by that house, and if it was the vacant house that we were just discussing about, I would get out of that, be able to shut the door and go show them that other listing real quick. Just to grab some content with that,
Add value.
yeah. So I got a connection. Now I'm dealing with a new buyer, and we're connected. So it was a stronghold for me. And then the more open houses I did in Sunset Canyon, the more people saw that I was working in Sunset Canyon. So they were getting my newsletters, they saw me doing open houses. When a new listing came up, I would go preview the house, and I'd have my card there. So I just knew over time that this was gonna be my gold mine. And I've sold over 150 homes in there.
Yeah. How long were you farming in there?
I still farm in there.
Yeah. When did you start?
4 years after the,
So 30 years you've been farming them? Yeah.
once I got through doing the open houses everywhere and I decided to do farming, I picked it up.
Yeah.
And the newsletters were awesome. Then I sent them a magnet, right? So the magnet had, my favorite magnet for the refrigerator is the table, the teaspoons, tablespoons, all the measuring stuff. Because I know that's going to stay on the refrigerator forever. Because the wives will use it, or the husbands will use it. So that was my mark. And a lot of times when I would go to a listing appointment, I would see my magnet on the refrigerator. So, yeah.
Y'all do handwritten notes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you ever walk into a house and you see them on the refrigerator? I used to just send little corny thank you notes, or I was thinking about you, you're amazing, congratulations on blah, blah, blah. When I was a lot more in production, I'd walk in these houses and my notes would be on their refrigerator. It's the only nice thing anyone's ever said to them in like 2 years, right? So, I mean, like, handwritten, just, you don't have to overthink it. What do they say? Don't shoot past the target, right? Just do the simple stuff. Yeah.
So I ruled Sunset Canyon. To this day, I still get calls. To this day, 6 months ago, this is now, I don't farm it like I used to, because I've been in the business 35 years and the referral business starts coming in. So I don't have to do all that stuff anymore. If you just work hard for a good 5 to 10 years, you've got it made in this industry.
Well,
You have to stay on top of it. If you do what you're supposed to do
yeah.
and send out,
If you do, you're supposed to do.
yeah. I mean, my best year solo was $36,000, I guess.
36 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30, sorry.
Yeah.
This is
Whatever. Couple, yeah.
36 million. I mean, that's a lot of money,
That's a lot of money.
right? And you guys are in the industry to do the same thing.
Yeah. Let's find out.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Who's been doing this longer than 10 years? I know some of you guys. Yeah. We got a good group of people. Thanks for being here. Hopefully we add some value to your life. Who's been doing it less than 2 years? Okay, good. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Leslie is, she and I work together pretty closely, and we have for like 5 years. But she has a pretty amazing story too. And then Jen Lewis will be here in a little bit. She's out there messing with the Canva stuff, but she's got an amazing story. So I want to make sure you hear from all of us. We're going to come back and talk more about,
Sure.
the activities, because there's a lot. Is anybody like, how's business? Are y'all making enough money? Are you doing okay?
It's choppy.
It's choppy. Yeah, feels cardiac, right?
Eric Moreland said, Robert, it's squishy.
Squishy.
So
Squishy's a word.
choppy.
Squishy, yeah. Right. So we feel that too. I mean, we do a lot of deals. You do a lot of deals. Like it feels like it's a wave. Like it's a wave, and then it recedes, and a wave, and then it recedes. And the thing I think we're realizing and have realized for some time is that you cannot take your eye off the ball. Like you have to keep doing the same thing over and over. And it's so freaking boring, but that's what gets the job done, right? And now with AI and Zillow news and all this stuff that's around there, it's like really easy to get distracted, and I sometimes feel, like kind of beat down by it. But this is your second time through this kind of market. This is your fourth time through a market like this. Yeah, same here.
I've been through 4 downturns, and if you just stick with it, you're gonna make it big time. Don't you think, Anthony?
Yeah. I mean, we had a guy come in that did a small little Tony Robbins thing on Zoom, and what was cool to, I guess, a good aha was like, how many people feel like it's a really hard market. You talk it, you put it out in the universe that it's hard. Mm-hmm. Right? I was like, but do you believe that there's other agents that are having their best year ever? So what's the difference? The difference is truly just mindset, right? How much effort and energy are you willing to put in? If you're going to put out negative in regards to it being hard, because it is hard, we use the word exotic, like every deal is exotic. No, now every deal, that's just normal. That's just the new norm. So if you change your verbiage and know that it's fill the funnel, you may have to work harder to fill the funnel, but it'll project you in the right way, right? If you let it beat you down, you will have a bad year. So you have to find the positivity of what gives you joy while you're grinding a little bit harder.
And maybe crying yourself to sleep. Sometimes. But think about, just honestly, like you're talking about wearing the suit. When you're going into the living room, and by the way, the agents, like, we're skilled in a living room in front of people, like it's just a little different feeling. So thank you for being willing to share and overcoming some of that. Les, do you want to come up here and visit?
I'm in an awkward situation.
But think about when you go into a living room or you're going to present your craft to people, like, do you want to tell people and agree with them that it's hard, or are you the person that has the solutions that's going to guide them through the process? Like, who do you need to be? Who do you need to show up? Right? And you say, some people are saying it's hard, but this is how we're being successful, and this is the path, because they're hiring you for your solutions, right? And so you just made me think of that. When you're presenting and you're offering solutions and value, you have to be positive.
Yeah.
You have to be positive. You're pretty good at that.
It's sometimes annoying to some people.
Yeah.
How positive I am.
You invest in that though, right?
Yeah.
You invest. That's a true investment of time, of resources, of finances, right? To make sure that you're straight.
Yeah. I'm very much wired differently. I don't burn out. So when people need breaks, I tend to not. But I was always high energy and positive, and then got introduced to the Tony Robbins aspect, and that just took me to another level of the limiting beliefs aspect more. But 5 a.m. this morning working out, I got a text because we just got back from one. It was like, these things from Tony that get you back into state. So I think it has definitely helped in this market more than ever.
Yeah, 100%. You guys y'all doing the stretches in the class in the office yet?
Not yet. It's coming. We're gonna annoy all the other agents in there that didn't
If you
go.
hear loud music, either join us or don't send a complaint.
Yeah. I remember when I came back from the first time, I felt like I was floating down the hallway. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. Have anyone else done Tony Robbins events? Man, you've done them? What did you think?
This was years ago.
Did you walk on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's a whole, like, man, it cracks open a whole different universe, like, to see it. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. Good for you.
We had a discussion at dinner one night when we were at, after a full day of Tony Robbins, so we were all just like zombie mode, but we were talking about the waves of real estate, and somebody had told me a few years ago, who's been in the business longer than I have, and was like, hey, when you go surfing, you're not just riding in waves the whole time. Like, riding in waves is closing deals, but when you go surfing, you have part of catching a really good wave is the paddle back out.
You gotta get there.
So don't think about the lows as a low. It's literally just what you need to do to ride in another wave. So it's kind of like helped switch my mentality of like, okay, every time I close a deal, I celebrate for like 5 minutes, and then I'm like depressed because I'm like, I need something else.
What's next? What's
Yeah.
next? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get back into that mentality of like, okay, it's just part of the process. You just gotta paddle back out.
That's right. And it's
That's
also, and then not everybody's willing to do the paddling, right? So it's really easy to separate yourself. And that's what they're talking about. Every time the market rebounds, the people that put in the work right now are the ones that make all the money. Like, people will jump in and they'll make their 30 or 40 or 50 grand or whatever a year like that. But the people who grind and make the connections and master their craft and improve their skills, when things heat up again, when the sales cycle gets more compressed, that's when, like, all your tentacles, all your work, that's the big payoff. Now, the trick is to not spend it all when you make it.
Yeah. I mean, to add on to that, like, this is not for me to brag, but like, I close 70 to 80 million a year, and that's just me personally, not on the team, and I'm still holding open houses.
Yeah.
Right. So it's I don't need to. I know that it's a part of my business model that has made me successful. So why would I stop?
Yeah. Why would you stop? So we're going to talk about your journey in a minute. Leslie, who are you?
I'm Leslie. So my journey into real estate was I had an agent selling my house, and she did nothing. So I was like, oh, I can make money at that. Great. That's a fabulous career to get into. So I got my real estate license. I worked for 2 years with 2 different small boutique brokerages, and there was no support. There was no help. So I YouTubed my way through closing deals. And I had 8 deals both years. I spent just as much money. Actually, there was a $200 difference one year. I spent just as much money buying leads as I made. And so I was like, oh, this is not going great. And at that time, I was the sole earner I still am, but I was the sole earner in my house. And we had 2 little children and 5 high school, college-aged kids as well. And so we were raising a lot of people. So it was super stressful. So then I thought, I will buy a house in my hometown, which is 2 hours south of here, and I'll flip it. And that'll like do the trick. And it was a terrible experience. And I owed 40 grand whenever we sold that. So then I came back to Austin with my tail between my legs, and I was like, you know what? Everything I've ever learned in my life, I've learned from the bottom up. I got to figure this industry out. No one is going to help me. I got to figure out how to make this work. And so Clay had an opening for an ISA. So he was like, I'll pay you 30 grand or 33 or something like that. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And I was terrible at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. it was terrible. I was terrible
But we
at
figured
it.
it out.
And I was terrified because like I'd never been on the phone. I'd always been in outside sales, and so like meeting people face to face was my jam. I'm great at the living room conversation. And so I was so scared, and I was blessed enough to sit next to him every day and get his critiques and areas of opportunity that I could improve. And so things went like that for like 4 to 6 months, and then after that, I started making appointments, a lot of them, and we didn't have enough agents to go on all the appointments, and so we actually only had one other.
Yeah, we only had
agent.
one at the time.
Yeah.
And
And
she didn't want to do
I was
it.
sending him on
Yeah.
terrible appointments
Oh, man.
too. Oh my god, horrible.
That was part of it. Like we had to improve that process, right?
Yes.
I mean, it was like because
Yeah.
we were struggling. I was like, just set freaking appointments,
And
then
then
I
I
was like,
did.
all right, here's how we get better ones, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it gets better. Yeah.
yeah. One appointment he showed up to, and someone else was putting their sign in the yard
Yeah.
already. Anyway.
Yeah, I ran into
Yeah.
some good ones.
Yeah, so I did I had to take the opportunity to just like feel stupid and ask dumb questions and take feedback, and I did, and from there he was like, do you want to take this appointment and go on it? And I was like, yes. So it's like what I've been working for the last like 4 years. And I loved it, and it was amazing. And then we had so much business rolling in that we needed showing assistants, and so we hired like 6 or 7 of those, and just got to a place where I no longer showed properties and was just negotiating deals and holding appointments over Google Meet.
Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
It's different now.
It's different now.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
is different.
when the market changes, it goes from like everyone's got to do stuff now, 30, 45 day sales cycle, to now it's like 450 day sales cycle.
Yep.
Right. And so like and when they change interest rates, that's just a free fall. I mean, we literally probably could have just closed our doors for 6 months and said, let's just let this thing settle. But where's the fun in that? Right. So it's a lot more education and a lot more opportunities to add value. And it's a big business shift when like the revenue streams change that much, and it's still adjusting, right? We're still going through these waves and people getting fired up. But I remember one of the things, like when you start working with people, like you recognize like that person's got that factor of they're gonna work. I know we suck at this right now, but we're gonna get better at this together, right? And that was what I figured out with you. And then,
Yeah.
I was a terrible teacher because I'd never had to
You're
do
a
it before.
horrible teacher.
Yeah.
Right? That's not what he's built for.
No.
But I did have the opportunity to sit next to him and see what a successful agent did every single day, right? So as much as he was giving me feedback, it was a really unique opportunity to be able to see what it actually took, right, to be successful. I've heard a lot.
Are you a good teacher?
No.
They're like high D personalities, right? That you're just like chasing behind and what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, how are you doing this?
Yeah. I give really good advice
Mm.
when I'm asked, though. Teaching
Clipped?
is
Yeah.
come in or go with me.
Yeah.
Come in or go with me.
You're a teacher?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you do something wrong, you're gonna hear it right away.
That's your teaching?
That-
What about when you do something right?
Well, I'd hand off a lead, and said, did you make the call? She goes, yeah, I did. And I left a message. What do you mean you left a message? You call back,
Yeah.
right? You've got to take opportunity when you have it, because someone else is going to take it
Yeah.
on a lead that comes in. So
We've experienced that internally
Yeah.
even. Yeah.
opportunity is everywhere, and you just got to find it. I would go sit at Jim's restaurant in the morning on Saturdays and wait to see who grabbed that real estate magazine and watch where they sat, made up how I was going to approach them, who they were, get up, go approach, and I see that you're looking at the real estate magazine, and do you live here, or move in here? And I would just get conversation going.
That's
And
gangster.
That is.
That's putting my foot in the door, because that's what it takes if you want to make it. And failure was not an option for me. I had kids, so I had to make a living, and I sold my business, and I had to make
Yeah.
a living. And so if you ever hear an opportunity, when you're walking by, you're walking in HEB, and you hear two people just kind of having a conversation, and they're talking about selling their house, I'd go around the corner and okay, all right, I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna intervene. And I go, then I'd start looking at something in the aisle right there, and I go, oh, you guys are looking, in real estate, huh?
Did you see my name badge?
And you always wear your name badge when you go to HEB.
Yeah. Hats,
Always.
shirts, always.
And
nice.
the post office. I've listed 2 ranches by having this and standing in line at the post office. So, and normally I don't wear it now like I'm supposed to, but when I was in the business, the first 10 years, I wore it every single day.
He wears that hat every day though.
Yeah.
It's a sweet hat.
KW land, I don't know how many opportunities I got. So, oh, you sell land? Oh God, we're looking for some land. So it's just, you gotta make opportunities. Another one big opportunity is, I had kids after we bought the house, saved my commission. Kids get up about 5, 6 years old and they start going into sports, I coached. Why did I coach? Because these other guys didn't know how to coach them. I was a jock growing up anyway, but I coached for the fact that, hey, now I get to meet all these kids and their parents who are looking to buy and sell, right? And that happened. That was a lot of my business. And then I would go into the youth association. So I live out in Dripping Springs, so I was vice president of the Dripping Springs Sports Youth Association. That got me into all the teams who got all my emails and all their mail outs and postcards. And I just bombarded it. You got to create opportunity. It's out there if you just put your mindset to do it.
Yeah, I'll piggyback. So like a newer version of what we do on our team is we go through a process of figuring out what you like and love. Because in this market, there's no point in doing stuff that you hate. It's just true, right? So Dana is a testament to this. Like she started to do a lot of two-stepping dancing, and she got into the basically country dance community and started her own little group. And I preached on our agents. I was like, okay, let's go through the things you like and love. I've got Jared Fader, another guy on our team. He likes the Astros. I'm like, cool. Throw a happy hour. Like get the clients that like the Astros, tag them in the database, and then have them invite one person. Tell me how many are going to come, and we'll get a sponsor or we'll pitch in for the tab, because that you're going to connect with people more, and it's a little bit easier than approaching somebody at a restaurant or HEB. It takes a unique breed. But if you inject yourself into a community that you're going to have a great conversation, it will lead to real estate,
Yeah.
right? So there's newer ways of doing that. I definitely remember getting into real estate, and as soon as I got my license, like everybody was talking. I could hear it from across the room. It was like a superpower. So you can figure out if you have the ability to walk up to those people, but it becomes easier if it's within a community that you already have a common element.
So yeah, so who does anybody farm and or do open house and or like focus on your community, your database, or you like mix all 3 of them, or
Sure.
yeah, so which one do you do the most? Is it database, or do you farm an area, or are you open housey, or
Well, it's all about even, really. Probably more open houses.
yeah,
I went back through my business, a couple of years ago. Where did these people come from? How did that happen? And
Yeah.
there's a ton that started at an open house.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like you're talking about joining communities or whatever, pick up pickleball and join a country club.
yeah,
Within a year, you'll have plenty of business.
yeah, pickleball's a big deal.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I do have to say
It's
that I
absurd.
think just about every agent I know
Yeah.
does that.
It's doing that.
So like
Yeah, already it's a
you're
little
gonna
late.
have
It might be a
competition
little
in the
late for that
pickleball
tactic.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not played one pickleball
Me
game.
Me neither.
I refuse.
Not one.
No, yeah.
Oh, come play with me.
Yeah. My knees are wobbly. So what about open houses? Is everybody doing open houses? You, Anthony, in 1 week in your first like 3 years, like how many open houses would you do?
I mean, it truthfully, it was every Saturday and Sunday. It would be for 4 hours, and it was every weekend.
Yeah.
There was no vacations for the first 2 years of my business. Now, the thing that I did a little differently, or I learned, that made me feel comfortable, but it actually worked, was I would pick a house that wasn't the best house in the neighborhood. Now, this, you gotta make sure what you're doing, there's more cameras and stuff in homes now.
Yes.
But like, I would unsell the house. The people coming in felt like you're a car salesman. They feel like you're there to sell them the home. I would unsell it. But I would have 3 or 4 options. So afterwards, I would go and show it, like, and tell them why I thought it was better. Now, you obviously have to ask questions, because there's probably a reason why I only sold 1 house in an open house in my 15 years versus doing 2. It's probably because I was unselling them too hard. But I got a lot of clients from it, right? It really built a lot of rapport up front, because they had that expectation that you were there to sell that home.
Yeah.
You built trust
Mhm.
right away.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
It's a great, and when you're showing houses to buyers too, be like, man, I don't know, this house feels kind of, you feel that you point out the things that are wrong, and they're instantly like, okay, I can trust this person's looking out for me. Like, it puts us closer in the trust department.
Yeah, it was always the discussion of like the resale aspect. Like,
Yeah.
you're making the biggest investment. We want this investment to project you to the next.
Right.
So, I mean, there's many a times where I'll talk about like school districts, and they're like, oh, we don't plan on kids. I was like, I'm not talking about like you sending your kids. I'm talking about what's going to help protect your value or increase your value over time.
Right.
There was, when I got started, we had to advertise in the Austin American Statesman print newspaper, and I had to have the description of the house, a picture of the house, and the directions to the street. And I did it in a Lakeway. If you ever driven around a Lakeway, to get to a house, it takes like 10 streets, right? So like that was 90% of the description was that. So I would just started doing, and you could only have for sales the open house signs up for like an hour before and an hour after the open house or something goofy like that. They had really weird sign rules. So I would do like 5 open houses in a day, and just because I wanted to capture as many people as I could, and just kept moving because my boss at the time would pay for the ads. And I did them like 6-7 days a week for years, because you're putting yourself at the intersection of where people are thinking about buying and selling, and they're looking for help, right? I mean, you hear about good luck and opportunity and all that's all that meets the crossroads of like preparation, right? And so you go preview houses, you have options, right? When you're doing the open houses, so you have a reason, people have a reason to stay engaged with you longer, right? So it gives you longer to build the relationship and then earn their, like, the next step to the next appointment with them. These are,
Yeah, I'll jump on top of that. Like, who still feels like they're successful with like sign-in sheets at open houses?
What was the question?
Who feels successful with like sign-in sheets?
yeah.
Who has another method that they feel like is more, you get
Modern.
more traction? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I wait for a question. So it's always, and this is how we do training, is you wait for a question. So like, do you know when they put the deck in? Oh, you know what? Actually, that's a great question. I would love to I will send over the seller disclosure to you along with that information. What's the best email address for me to send that to you? Right? So it's conversational.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or I create opportunity. So if they don't ask a question, then you're probing them to get them to ask a question.
Yeah. This kind of piggybacks off of me having better options for them other than the house I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But I stole this from another agent, but I don't have any sign-in stuff. I have like our listing packet, our business cards, but really it's leading them to knowing that there's other options, and have they seen them? And if not, okay, great. I literally hit text and hand on my phone and say, put your number in. I'll
That's what
text you.
Rocky
I'll text you a link to the property, so you can drive by. And again, I'm done at 4, so if you want to see it, just let me know and text me back.
So,
Because
I have a question about that. So you're saying that you tell them, let me send you the seller's disclosure. You don't have any of that information?
None
at
of
your
it.
open
I
house?
do not put any information about the house at the house.
Really?
Nothing.
Interesting.
Nope.
And then you also don't have any type of sign in or ask for people's information, but, like, I still put something on the front door that says, at the seller's request, we want everyone to sign in.
Yeah, and it became, what we were finding is people can easily put false information.
Yeah,
Where me
sometimes they
handing
do,
a
you're right.
phone to them, it's very hard to make up
A phone number on the spot.
a number that you just don't know.
Yeah.
So it was more effective for me to get the accurate information, because usually I can read the email, or I wouldn't have, even if I had an iPad, it would take them too long to sign in. So
Yeah,
it was
same.
more about the efficiency piece. When you've got multiple people coming in the door, you want to have this conversation, but you also don't want to miss this person that's walking around the house. So it became the easiest pathway for me, but we don't put anything out, because the less we have out, the more they have to ask, and then there's a connection afterwards.
They have to talk to you.
I will tell you that if you are gonna continue to put stuff out, the most successful placement of what you're gonna put out is the primary bathroom. That, like, people are
That's where
alone.
the most candy disappears from, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, when people are alone, they'll do things in the primary bathroom for whatever reason.
It's so weird, isn't
They'll
it?
scan your code, they'll eat your candy.
That's right.
It's
Weird.
That's a good insight.
That's so funny.
That's interesting.
So you don't have the survey or
That's weird.
anything?
No,
But you just
No,
have like a
because I
digital
would-
file, and then you can send it to them, right?
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I'm a brand new agent, so I have a question. And I've got mixed feedback. So my friend would put like a note on the door and lock the door and say, text me when you arrive. That way you automatically get their information. Is that ethical or no? To lock the door.
Can I tell you what I think about
A
that?
lot of women
Jim,
are
you wanna
doing
answer
that that are there by themselves.
Yes. So my feeling is, like, when you're trying to meet somebody to help them buy or sell something, like, being Fort Knox is not a great way to say we're going to have a great relationship. I like to stand at the door and welcome people in, right? And like literally, like, hey, come on in, thanks for being here. Like, you want them to be in a positive vibe so that they want to talk to you. If you do that, then it's like, this is going to be freaking weird.
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like an I got you moment. Now I understand females. This is a thing now, and probably has been for a long time. Do it with somebody, right?
Right.
Have somebody there, or leave your taser on your hip, or whatever you need to do.
I just feel like the psychology piece.
Yeah.
You put a barrier between you. It's already, I would say, giving them something that they have to overcome. You want to give them as least amount to get to you. So there's too many people already in their head, but like you're already having to do what you
Gymnastics.
can in order to make
Yeah.
them happy and like you.
Yeah.
Let's not put something in front of that. But safety, I get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Yes.
blew my mind. I was like, what do you mean you're locking the door?
Yeah, I mean, they'll just turn around and go somewhere else. I mean, it's a weird, and psychology is super important.
Right.
Clients, customers want things made easier, right?
Yeah.
Period.
I also think if you're going to do that, which I do not recommend doing, like Anthony said, I think that's a barrier to entry. I would just keep my pepper spray next to me.
I do.
As a female, you got to get an agreement from the seller to do that, because I think you're going to put yourself in a bad spot if the seller gets a call from their neighbor and their neighbor's like, hey, whoever was holding your open house said that I had to text them to get in the door and the door was locked. The seller's going to call you and be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I would do that, to be honest. I don't know that there's anything ethically wrong with it, other than you're not being clear with the seller about how you're holding an open house, because that's for sure not what they think you're doing. So there's that. And I would say one more thing. I totally understand why you don't put out a sign-in sheet. For anybody who wants to still do it, the way I always got around it was I also too would not put things out, so they'd have to ask me for them. And I would point back at what they put on my sheet and say, so is this the best email or cell phone to send that back to? And 9 times out of 10, they would cross it out and put the right one down.
Put the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can laugh about it, right? You're like, yeah, I get it. You
Yeah.
didn't mean to
Oh,
call
I
you.
forgot to
I
put a
know.
number in there, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would look at me while they were doing it. I'm like, it's cool. I have a junk email too, and
Yeah.
just make it not a big deal
Yeah.
because they're human, and they
And
don't
you
really
do
wanna
it
talk
too.
To you.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah,
like,
yeah, and know your buyer avatar for the community. Like if this is in Barton Creek and your demographic is older, signage use may be better than me handing them a phone to text them. So like know who is going to be the person that's walking in the door, so you cater to them, not against them.
I think why Anthony is really still successful to this day about in doing his open houses is because like the reason that people don't want to put down their information if we had a sign-in sheet. So in a perfect world, everyone would put down their information and they would answer our calls, right? But that's not the real thing. And the reason they're not answering their calls is because they're already walking into an open house expecting to be pushed into something, right? So they're expecting to, as soon as they put down their phone number, that they're gonna be spammed by us. But like, Anthony will go into an open house and literally just be their friend and just be the expert. Like he only does open houses in the neighborhoods that he knows like the back of his hand, the neighborhood where his kids go to school. People are more willing to work with, like, even if you get somebody's phone number who you haven't connected with, it's not gonna do anything for you because they're not gonna answer and you have no reason to call them. You're gonna have nothing to talk about. But like, my way of entry into any conversation is I read Austin Business Journal every single day. So I'll be sitting at a restaurant and I'll hear somebody talking about something and I can butt in, and it's sometimes about tech and I don't know anything about tech, but I read an article about it, or it's about a development that's coming, or somebody says, what's this construction about? And I know what's coming. So it's like, if you're able to build that rapport with somebody, they're gonna give you anything you want. So it's like, don't go into an open house trying to trick people into getting their phone number. Just genuinely build a connection with them. Talk to them like they're people, and that trust is gonna get you in any door, you know?
Yeah.
the gotcha method.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
also think
Not my
it
favorite.
depends on when you ask them for the information. I
Yeah.
don't ask them for it right when they come
No.
in.
No.
Yeah.
Some people, they've been trained, they come in and they say, do you want me to fill this out right now, Robert? I'm like, no, go ahead.
Sure.
Most don't. And so I hand them a flyer on the house that just has basic information. I let them go for a while. Then I open up a conversation. Are you shopping or your neighbors? Oh, your neighbors? We love neighbors. Because you never know when you're going to be talking to somebody. And so I get a rapport going. You know, have you been shopping long? Oh, well, there's lots of inventory now. There wasn't much last year, right? So we're talking for a while. Before I say, you know, there are some other properties on the market that might work for you. Would you mind giving me this information here? How would that sound if I sent you some of those?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
rarely, in 10 years of doing this, I rarely have been given bomb information. Because I've waited
Yeah.
to get till I got
You earned it.
You showed your value.
Yeah.
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 There's if you preview properties, like that's another easy way to say, like I saw one that actually, checks some of your boxes. Have you seen that? Because everyone looks online, but it's so whitewashed now, and like they don't remember anything that they looked at. So if you've actually personally been in the houses and you can talk about them, then there's even more value. Jen Lewis just snuck in. Some of you may or may not know her. She's the new boss around here, but do you mind telling us a little bit about who you are and
I'm not the new boss. I'm the new partner to all of our agents. I have been in everybody's shoes. I was a brand new agent in 2013. Thank you for having me, Clay.
Yeah.
I started on a team. I was with Wendy Papson and Papson Properties for 6 years. Anthony was my nemesis. We were always competing for who could sell the most amount of homes as the top buyer's agent in the office. So we always had a lot of fun pushing each other to grow, which I would highly encourage you, no matter what your choices are, that you put yourself in an environment where you're around people who want to not only see you grow, but because you're both growing, you're constantly like trying to one-up each other. It's fun, right? This is supposed to be fun. It's real estate. In the 6 years I worked for Wendy, I sold about 450 homes. So sold a lot of houses, mostly buyer sides. Best year was 89 buyer sides. I had a showing assistant on the team. I had multiple, but I ended up with one that was a killer, and she's amazing, and she runs her own business now called Jewel Realty Group. Her name's Mary Daniels. She's a 6-foot-tall redhead. Can't miss her if you meet her. But I figured out a way to build a team within a team and still make sure everybody got paid well, and it was a really fantastic experience. I always tell people being on a team helped me get more at-bats faster. 450 homes is more than a lot of agents I know that have been in the business 20 years. So it was a lot of fun. I think being on a team can be a great opportunity for anyone, and don't let people discourage you one way or the other. If you really feel like you got this on your own, sure. But I also would say in this environment, I don't know about y'all, I want to be in a winning environment where there are other people who I can learn from constantly about how to get better faster at this business, because I'm also an athlete. I know you were too. Like, there's just nothing like having a coach to push you and make you better, and nothing like having players on the team that are just as good if not better than you that you can always look up to. So that's my agent story. I was a team leader here for 3 years, 19, 20, 21. That was a fun time. 22, I left, went to corporate. I was over there for 3 years. I was the team leader of team leaders. We have 770 offices across the US and Canada. So I got to work with all of our team leaders, and I got asked recently to come back. So I get to hang out with these amazing humans all the time, which makes me so happy. It's so much more fun than corporate America. I left corporate America to become a realtor, and then I went back to it. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't know. And so I'm really happy to be back. I've only been back for about 8 weeks, and I'm here to serve. We run the Northwest, Southwest, and the Lake Travis office. Our whole team is here to support everybody that's either with us now or thinking about being with us. Whether you're on a team or off a team, we have a really amazing group of humans who always want to help, and I just get to be the partner to all of y'all and all of them. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I got started, I picked an agent. She was the #1 agent in Austin at the time, out in Lakeway. But teams didn't exist, so I would go to her house and just help her weed her garden and just be like, I want to work for you. I want to work for you, because I was like a dropout kid in college. I didn't know what else to do, and I thought real estate would be fun. And finally she hired me, and I was her listing coordinator and I was her buyer agent. I had 2 full-time jobs, and I did it for years. I thought it was great. I was making more money than everybody else was, and I thought like we had it all figured out. But the thing was, is like I knew I needed somebody to tell me what to do and what not to do. And at that age, I did a lot of things I wasn't supposed to do, right? So still do, but like back then it was a lot. But it was just really nice to have like that mentor, and that like she was an overbearing person to help me get through that stuff. Did you have anybody kind of help you through the beginning years? Because the beginning years is when you just have to do everything you can to get your career launched.
My profile is a D, so I kind of did everything myself for the most part, until I came to Keller Williams because they had teams. But before that, teams weren't allowed because I was with another company at the time.
Yeah, like I would say my recent, or not recent, I would say it in 10 years, so I've been at Keller Williams since the very beginning. I took some Ignite classes at the beginning, but like I didn't really adhere to what Keller Williams was providing for probably the first 7 years of my career.
More than that.
Didn't, maybe 10. Why you would go, yeah, it's like, I would say probably 10. Funny, I was gonna say 10 and then I went to 7. Thanks, Jen. And that I had the ability to outwork everybody. So that was the one thing that in the 10 years that made me successful. Now, in the last 5 or 6, I've learned to actually leverage the people around me, that I can learn faster, and that has ramped up my business more than ever before. So I so wish I would have listened and started to have a mentor or a coach or get an agent. Being in the office was great. We had Tim Howe, all of us kind of started all at that same time. So it was, I guess, overall presence of coming into the office, but it wasn't me asking. I still have problems in regards to asking questions, right? But I've gotten better.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I'm giving Anthony a hard time because I'm just used to it. That's how we've always been. But also, one of the things I think that I learned from you in this whole thing was you can do it on your own, we can all do it on our own, but what I wanted out of it, I wanted Anthony in the room with me. I wanted other people to hear what you had to say, and I think sometimes we all get into our place where we're doing and we're running and we're going,
Yeah.
and we forget that like, oh wait, people want you in that room. So I would always ask you to come hang out with us. And I love that you have spent a lot more time doing that with us now, so thank you for that, because what you know and what you've learned and what you know and what you've learned, and you're doing this for everybody right now too, is so impactful. So I just want to encourage the whole room, like the more we spend time with each other, interact, build community, be in these spaces together in our offices, in your team office, you just can't help but learn things, because you're gonna be around people that are smarter than you, and I always wanted to be around people that were smarter than me and better than me, so that I could learn what they were doing, so I could go do it too.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving you a hard time. I just wanted to learn from Anthony.
Yeah. And see, I didn't feel like I was smarter. I just felt like I had the ability to put more effort.
Yeah, and it feels like blunt force trauma almost all the time until you get help. You guys, you want to talk about some technical stuff? Like the size of your database, the cadence that you should be talking to people. You're doing events now, and like, let's get some like formulas out there that we know are successful. To maybe so you can walk away from this with like some kind of action plan around your database. Does everybody here have like are you okay with me switching gears a little bit on this? Yeah. Does everybody here have a database of people they know? Right. It's commonly known as your iPhone. Yeah. That so you understand like the people we got into a good conversation about this the other day. The people in your phone is where most of your money is going to come from, right? In the beginning of your career or at any point in your career when you feel there's a lull in your business because of the cycle or whatever's going on, you've got to go do open houses, get online leads, go convert other leads. But while that's going on in the background, you've got your database, right? Everybody agree with that? You should. Okay. And when this is a fun exercise. There was a point in my career when I narrowed down, like 80% of my business came from 6 people. All right, and like I've always been like a $40 to $80 million producer. Like I've never gone over $100,000 or anything like that, but it's been a pretty good living for me for a long time. And not always. I worked my way up to that.
100 million.
100
Yeah.
million.
100
Man,
million.
y'all are really like messing up the thousands and millions over here.
It's because the number's not important, right? I mean, it's like but there was always a set. I forgot what I was saying.
Broke the pattern.
Broke it.
So you're talking about the 6 people.
Oh, the 6
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
And you sell a lot of real estate, and you sell a lot of real estate, and you sell a lot of real estate. That's how you say that, right? And so, like, if you were to narrow it down to like where most of your business comes from, generally you have a core group.
Mm-hmm.
How big was it? How big was your?
I call them ambassadors, and that was you're good. Can I count you as an ambassador on my team? And they go, yeah, sure. And I said, I'll give you a movie pass for every year for your family. But it worked. But I had maybe 5 or 6 that I can always count on to send me business,
Yeah.
and that was a big part of it, for sure.
What about you?
I want to say I had the number that I was looking at was like 22.
22.
Yeah. I think
Now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a 16 years of business filling that funnel. There's a lot
Yeah.
in there. And my frequency was like the quarterly calls, the anniversary.
Yeah.
It got to the point where we were calling and you would get that, oh, we're not thinking about selling. It's like, no, this is me just calling and saying hi. Like, how's the family? How are you doing? Do you need anything on the house? Like, in regards to maintenance or vendors that you may need. Now we've shifted that to where we have 3 events a year, where now my 3 of those calls are just inviting them to come hang out, have fun, eat food and drink for free. And basically that's pouring back into them for being a client.
When did you start doing that?
Matt, it was like 3 years ago? 3 years ago. We started with a tailgate, a Christmas party. I started to do little micro events, and then we just started to do larger. So now we do a crawfish, a a UT tailgate and a Christmas party. And we had 400 something come to Crawfish.
About 450.
Nice.
And they're all traced back to those 22 people?
No, this was entire database
Okay,
with some were clients and some were customers.
okay.
So we were those that were purposeful in getting in front of them. But what we added was this thing, we call it House Elite. So it's a program where if you've bought or sold in the past 12 months, or if you referred somebody, or if that referral actually transacted, you get a golden ticket to all 3 events. And at the 3 events, there's a prize. So everybody there, if they're not getting a golden ticket, they don't know what it is. There's education on what that is because they feel left out. But one was a bag of $2,000 worth of cash, right? And they're like, oh, how did they get that? One's tickets to the game that we're having the tailgate in, and then one's like a 10-person catered dinner at their house of their choice. So now they want to refer us more. There are call to actions for them to be on this, and there's this fear of not being a part of that group when you're at there, even though you're still getting free food, free drinks, you're just not getting the next phase.
Those are great prizes.
Yep.
How do we get invited?
You just refer me one person and the password.
Does everybody, I mean, 16 years, you probably have thousands of people in your database.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we have thousands of people in our database. I would probably guess that a lot of y'all, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but have you spent any time narrowing down like your top 100 people? So good, thank you, Rachel,
Is that
for
Rachel?
doing that. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give a little hack here. This is great for we have thousands, and I probably have a couple of hundred people in my database. But like I've got it narrowed down almost to I have 120, but like 100 people, and you just call it your top 100. And this guy's there's a simple cadence. I think with all the stuff that's going on out there, it's super easy to get distracted. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like really easy to get. So the top 100, right? If you were to put them all in like a spreadsheet, and we talk about this in our office quite a bit, right? And you put them on a cadence, and you just there's 4 weeks in a month roughly, right? And then there's 5 weeks in a day, 5 days in a week. Is how that's supposed to be said, right? So top 100. If you do that times 4. That's 20, right? So that means that there's 5 people a month that you need to DM, call, or text on a regular basis. Okay, this is if you want to get your machine producing results at a very high level. And I would challenge you guys to just to get and there's some more that comes with this. I would challenge you guys just to spend the appropriate amount of time on this, because the people that we're talking about, your database, the people on your phone, is the most valuable asset you'll ever own. It's the whole reason to have a business. You're going to help people buy and sell real estate. You're going to help them navigate through the most complex financial decision of their life, other than choosing what kind of 401k to get, right? I mean, it's the most complex decision they're going to make. And it's up to you to be the person that says, I'm your trusted advisor. I have proof of success over time. And look at how much information that I want to give you. Because at the end of the day, are you selling real estate? Yes, but what's your number one job to stay successful? This is a great picture. To stay successful and have successful longevity in business is you have to market yourself.
Yeah, stay on top of mind.
You have to stay top of mind. So obviously, like the things, things have changed a little bit with people don't answer the phone anymore, right? I mean, now when my phone rings, I'm like, God, I hope that's a spam call, right? Just kidding. But so you have to text, you have to DM, you have to send LinkedIn messages, and you have to be more present in social media, right? Social media is not a universe, it's a tool. So you've got to get in a cadence on that too. But you want to be checking in on your top 100 people. If you have 20, great, you have 20. Call one a day for a month, right? And what's great about events is now you have a reason to reach out to people that's not about some trumped up charge to go talk to somebody, right? Now you have a thing that you get to point the needle towards. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So I would say so this 5x5 is that's wrong. So it's 5x4 times 5, right? So it's 100, right? 100 people, but your top 100. The next thing you need to be doing is making sure that they're all friends on Facebook or Meta or Instagram, right? That says Meta. Okay, so you want the people that you're reaching out to also to be the people that are seeing what you're doing on Facebook. A lot of you guys are on my Facebook because I changed my avatar. I changed my avatar to agents that I want to help, not people that I want to help buy and sell real estate, right? You're probably pretty intentional about are you on social media? Barely. You do some. Yeah. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I don't do it personally.
Yeah.
No.
This is, by the way, does this cost money? No. Does this cost money? No. And then the next, okay, and then 3 times a day you should post at a minimum. I talked to my agents about this. Guys, this is not my formula. This is formulas that I pay a crap ton of money to hear about from marketers. Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, right? John Chaplak, all these guys that are skilled marketers to get people to like, know, and trust them, to do business with them, and they buy expensive stuff. Tony Robbins wasn't cheap, was it? Yeah. Okay. But you do a morning, noon, night. All right. And you post something personal, something business. I think previewing properties and putting a reel up about a house that you look at is a smart move. Or an open house you're doing, a selfie, something with your face in it, right? They want to see your face. And then something that's like proof of success or something uplifting, okay? If you do this, you should do it 7 ways. If you do this 5 days a week and you talk to your 100 people or your 22 people, or you find 100 people to do this and you focused on that for 365 days, you would get between a 15 and a 20% return on your investment. And by that, I mean 15 to 20 people just in your top 100 will do business with you or refer somebody that will do business with you for free. And in this market where $500,000 houses are being sold, that's the average, 440,000 times 20 is what? $8 million of volume, $240,000 of revenue for a lot of you, okay? But you have to do it consistently. Then there's another piece that you can add. You can add email and you can add events. The thing about events is that you have a reason to talk to your people.
Yeah, and the power is in the invites, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 7-week touch plan that we have. The invites, the events are fun, right? The giveaways are awesome, but it's really all the communication, the video, embedded emails and text messages. That's the touch of top of mind.
Yeah.
When you started your events, not now when you got momentum, but when you started, you mentioned doing micro events.
Mm-hmm.
Were you scared nobody was going to come?
Oh, I think I still have that fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, definitely, there was always that fear. But if
I had a
you,
boss in another business, she would always say, Robert, rent a small space. I'd rather see a small space overcrowded with people
Yeah.
than a really big space with a small amount of people.
very much so,
Yeah.
right? And set an intention of plan, right? Like I and Matt will laugh at this, but like we would throw events together in a matter of weeks. It was horrible. The
Classic male mentality.
Yeah, it was, we could throw this together and everybody will come. And then you'd have lackluster attendance, and I was like, what was on with that? Well, now we've gone through the process of making sure that we have the proper time, and we've started to now have, okay, these are our 3 events. They're going to be this time of the year every time. So now our clients know a consistent structure, where before it was just kind of throwing it up and hopefully it hits.
Can you
So-
tell me what you're doing at the events?
True. I mean, walking around. I mean, it is truly just a have fun aspect where I'm getting to see clients that I haven't seen in a long time. We do get on stage for the House Elite, so we thank our sponsors. We talk about what we're there for, our intentions. We give our appreciation, and then we go into the giveaway.
Then you go into the what?
The giveaway.
Oh, okay.
You did movie theater.
Mhm.
Yeah. Tell us about what you've done.
I would rent out Trudy's once a year, one summer. You know, right when summer started, I'd been out of Trudy's and that guy, it was packed. Everybody got a free meal and whatnot. Then did movie theaters where everybody came to a movie on a Saturday, and you get up and talk before the movie starts, and when the movie ends, you get up and talk. It was just a appreciation event.
And people show up?
They all showed up.
Yeah.
The movies, they'd bring their kid. I mean, it was packed. Yeah. So if you can do that, that's a home run already.
Yeah, because you get to make the connection.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we first started those events, we were horrible on getting sponsorships. So we would get a little bit of sponsorship, a majority of it was coming out of my pocket. Now we have sponsorship decks that we start several months before even the marketing plan comes into play. So now we have an expectation of what our vendors can get from the event, how much exposure they're going to have, what is going to be their ROI, and now it's much easier to get these events fully covered. Where before, it was just eating out of our profit.
And sponsors are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make the phone calls, but we had nothing to show what they were actually going to get, other
Right.
than, their name on a banner or
Yeah.
something. So we actually went really in depth of, okay, how many emails and top of mind experience are they going to get in that 7-week plan? What are they going to get into the event, and what are they going to get after the event?
Yep.
And like our top tier, like we give them access to having a one direct email to our database at their time of their choice. So it's like, hey, for a lender, it's like, whenever rates come down, we can send to our entire database for a refi aspect. That's a lot of value.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a vendor program? Yeah.
New agent, like literally 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
My
Congrats.
license, yes, hello. Came from brand marketing, CPG, corporate, blah, corporate. So anyway, as a marketing researcher, marketing consultant, one of the things that is so effective is providing education and information value, but you have to do it the right way. So combining education with entertainment, bring in a comedian, bring in live music, bring in what have you, but the people that you have invited or that have, your guests, they're there for a reason, and you bring in, you provide information, not some long seminar, but just some things that this audience would benefit from knowing. Things about the local market, things happening that, are very specific and esoteric. So anyway, there's a thought.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you. The congratulations.
It'll come to you.
It's coming. I don't know when. I just turned 50, so it takes a minute sometimes for the years to complete their revolutions.
I just want to.
Have any of you done things like that already? I imagine the answer is
Our cadence on events has just been a hodgepodge.
All over the place.
All over the place. We have zero consistency.
I think
In fact, this event is probably the most organized.
When we grow up, we want to do what Anthony's doing.
It only took me
3 years.
13 years to
Oh,
get
13.
here.
Okay.
It took me 13 years to get to this point.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it is fine tuned, and that was because I put people in my business that are much better at it than I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, leverage is amazing.
It is.
You're
Big.
doing 3 events a year, did you say?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, we aligned it with our quarterly calls. We saw and then as we added the third, we were like, okay, this is a lot. I don't know if we could add a fourth, so we left that one open. We were gonna do more of a younger, let our agents pick the fourth event. So that's still up for us to do, whether that's because a lot of our agents are younger, so it could be more geared to a younger demographic versus mine. Most of these events are catered to what I experience, which is family. So it's like kid friendly, other than the tailgate. There's gonna be Jello shots. It was a lot of fun.
We have a separate cooler for that. Kids are still allowed.
Yeah.
Jello.
Yeah, Jen Lewis. Yeah. Jen shows up every year.
I had plenty of the Jello shots.
Yeah. So.
A good event is bicycle safety right when school gets out. That's been
Go for the kids.
for
Yeah.
neighborhood. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
How do you find sponsors for these events? I mean, obviously you're well known now, but like when you were starting out, how did you find?
I mean, most of the time they're gonna find you. So everybody is looking for some type of partnership. So I'm sure there's lenders that will start calling, home warranty, all these things. So I would say typically you could call somebody and they'll probably take you to lunch. Yeah. They'll take you to lunch to want to know a little bit more about your business. So I would just be purposeful because they want some type of return. So if
Yeah.
you can map that out of what you're going to, like, what's that event going to look like? What's the strategy going to be? How many people are going to be there? They'll be more inclined to want to back you to see that opportunity.
I would suggest that if you're starting out, try not to do too many things.
Agreed.
Yeah. See, like you want to. I mean, it takes a group of people, I think, to put on a pretty good event. Or make your open house your event.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, there's a way to simplify it until you've earned the right and you can pay. I mean, you have to have people to help you throw some of these things, or indentured servitude, aka husband or wife, right? That can help you do this kind of stuff. But you can, the micro events that are really good for connecting, you can also do open houses. Like we have a system where, like, if you do it the right way, you will stand out above anybody else, right? They're free, right? It just takes your time, right? And when you start to build up your business, then you can turn around and say to the lender and say, look, I can 3x your return or 5x your return, or I can give you my emails. By the way, I have thousands of emails, not 50. Or whatever it is. I mean, there's a way, everything that you do can be an event also.
Right.
I am 100% not trying to say that that's a bad idea.
No.
It just takes muscle.
Yeah, I was like,
To get
it
done.
doesn't, there's not much you need to offer other than something.
Right.
And that something doesn't have to be expensive.
Speaking of non-expensive and a KW plug, we have the food drive coming up. And
Yeah.
the food drive, if you think about it differently and change the way you look at things and things you look at change, that's a bold thought. You could use this as an opportunity as a free client event. You reach out to your database, you let them know you're there to support the Austin Food Bank. And at this time and in this economy and in this environment, who doesn't want to do that right now? And also we'll give you free bags for them to use if you want to drop a bag to them.
Take a bag to them.
Information on it. Or one of our other agents is actually doing this where she throws a little mini party in her front yard. And she tells all her clients, hey, if you have anything, come and drop it off with me on this date at this time. I'll be outside, the music will be on, I'll have donuts and coffee, and then she collects all the food, and then she brings it to our actual event, which is on November 15th at Riverbend Church. There are a lot of ways you can do free stuff as a quote-unquote client event.
Yeah, we used to use it for the ability to go farm or work at a neighborhood. So you can literally go door knock, and now you have something that breaks the ice. You're having a conversation, you can introduce yourself that you're in real estate, but you're not there as the primary. You're there for the food drive, and it gives you that personal connection. Like, it's easier to talk to somebody on a porch for something like that than to be like, are you looking to buy or sell?
Yeah. You want solar panels?
Have you found your Lord and Savior?
Yeah. Daily. Yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah, using the food drive. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to support the community? I mean, you guys, and you have to realize when you're in real estate, like, you're helping people with wealth building and home ownership and emotional, like, growth, and you have to support the community. So you have to, like, find a cause to get behind that's important to you, that you'll believe in, and then that you can go advocate for when you're out in the community. At the end of the day, the internet leads are out there. I'm just going to say something, I have a philosophy about this. At the end of the day, the reason real estate agents are successful is because they pour into their community. Their community isn't from Killeen to San Antonio, all right? That's just where the leads are, and that's how you start building relationships if you're just getting started. Your community is your flight path, right? It's where you hang your hat, it's where you sleep, it's where you pick up your dry cleaning, what major, local restaurants you go to, coffee shop, where people see your face all the time. If you have kids, like you're in and out of people's lives forever, 30 times a day, right? If you don't have kids, you still have a social scene or something that you're going back and forth on. So you've got to wear the hat of like, they're not there to serve you, you're there to serve them, right? And as soon as that perspective changes, people look at you in a different light. You're there, you're helping people at church, you're helping people in the community, the food drive, RBI Austin, whatever your thing is, right? And they're making mental connections with you, and then look, the next thing you know, they want to hang out with you because you're doing good stuff in the community, right? And then it's just natural because you're going to wear your shirt or you're going to wear your hat, and they're going to say, well, let's talk about real estate, or you're going to bring it up in a natural way, and then you're the person that stands out. Everybody knows 10 real estate agents in Austin. There's 20,000 of us. You got to be the one that stands out, stays top of mind. And with doing events, food drive, Santa pictures with Santa, bike safety. We've just had parties before. We've wrapped presents for people. We had 2 single moms take us up on it last year. Right? That was just a weird idea we had. But they connect with you because you're trying to help, and they see that. And then people want to help other humans that are trying hard, right? And so, there's a lot of little things you can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, I had a wide range of things I did. If I would have been a little bit more narrow focused, and I would say the consistency piece, which I'm great at. So if you narrow into one thing, so like I'm not great at social media, right? I am not one that's constantly posting, but I'm really good at phone calls. Should I add social media? Yes, but should it be my thing? No, because I know this is, right? So like everybody's gonna have their pathway. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, but whatever you do, you better focus on it and do it consistently. And this isn't for weeks, right? This is for months. And this is for years. Right? So if you're gonna do it, go all in and be consistent on it. And it will give you a return, right? Like if that is posting, whatever that is, make that your one thing.
Yeah, I think social media is an enhancer. It's not the tool that's going to make you the money.
Agreed. Like it's, again, on top of brand recognition, having the personal connection and all that, it is just hitting one more box in a row of boxes for that person. When they raise their hand, they're going to think of you.
Yeah, and you guys do post often.
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all
Generally often
we
enough.
do.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you posting for him.
I probably just reshared.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're posting enough. I think what's interesting that all 4 of you guys have made very clear today in being successful is that you found the quickest path to trust, right? To build trust with the client. And you're using, all of you use different methods to do that, but it was utilizing, being resourceful with whatever you had going for you, right? We have the opportunity to use the food drive to do it. We do it with open houses pretty regularly, right? The system that we use around that, and events.
Yeah.
And social media is a huge part of that, because if you're making those phone calls, there's built-in trust right there, right? They've seen you, they know what you're doing. It's just building a relationship, starting to build a relationship.
You walk into a living room, I mean, we can present like crazy, but if they've already gone on Google, if they've already asked their chat GPT, they've gotten on Instagram and Facebook and looked you up, then it's already, you're there just to get documents signed and to line out what the process is, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to interview anymore. Yeah.
They don't, and that hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed.
It's still like almost 90% of sellers pick the first agent that walks in the door.
Yeah.
And these days they have already searched you, researched you. I just want to remind everybody, MREA says this, and it stands true today. Our researchers continue to validate that our top agents that earn $1 million or more in commission, 82% of their business comes from 3 sources. So don't go focusing on 5 or 6 or 7 different things.
100%.
82% is 3 sources. The other thing, if it's okay, I'll give you my favorite lead generation analogy, because my husband would just laugh at me. I'm a shopper. I'll stand up for this so you don't see me. All right, so you go shopping, you go to your favorite store. Mine's Nordstrom. You know that you have a wedding. You walk in, you have clarity about what you need, right? But what do you do when the nice person comes to the door and says, "How can I help you?"
No, thank you.
No, thank you, I'm good. You Heisman them and you walk away, because you're like, I'm good. This is natural human behavior, remember this, right? So that first interaction, natural human behavior, no thank you, I'm good. Now you're walking around, you're finding things, you're putting them on your arm, and eventually your arm gets really tired because you have a lot of things on your arm that you're gonna go try on. So now you're still walking around the store, you remember that nice person that came to you, but what are you looking for after you have your arm full of clothes? The dressing room. So now you find your way to the dressing room, you walk in, and you find that all the doors are locked. Now who are you looking for? Who are you looking for?
Salesman.
Anybody in the closest proximity to you in that moment, people move on their time, not ours. In the moment that someone needs the keys to get into the dressing room or the door to a house, that's when they come looking. And the person that is closest to them in those moments, the one that's top of mind, the one they remember, the one that emailed them, they saw on social media, ChatGPT said it, that's the person they're gonna look to first. So stop being butthurt, y'all, when people Heisman you because you texted them, you emailed them, you invited them to something and they said no, because people move on their time, not yours. You just have to constantly stay in communication.
Right.
Just keep going, because one day they're gonna look up and need the keys, and they're gonna look for the closest person in proximity to them at that moment, and if it's you, they'll pick you.
They feel like can do the job.
That's right. That they trust can do the job. Now there's more to this, right? That's one part. The other thing I think is fun, let's rewind the play, right? You Heisman, that nice person that walked in, that nice person that welcomed you when you got there, instead of just letting you wander around alone, they came over, they grabbed your things, they asked your name, they said, how can I help you? They took your stuff to a door. Then they came back with something that was the same size of all the things you had given to them already and said, hey, I found this. Is this something that you would like? Maybe you would like something that looks more like this. And if not, what else can I go find for you? In real estate, what's that value you add along the way? All the little things you drop in, and do it for free. Stop thinking about spending all the money, right? The food drive. Go find a CPA. It's end of year, y'all. CPAs want to work with you now. They don't want to work with you in March when they're really busy. But get a CPA to talk about end of year taxes for free. Zoom everybody in, invite people in, add value to their world that's important to them today, and keep dropping little bits of knowledge. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to buy leads. You don't have to do big events. Use the money as it comes in to build your business. Don't spend the money thinking you're gonna build the business, but you can add value really cheaply along the way to make sure that you stay in that emotional proximity to potential clients.
Yeah. Piggyback on that, like one of my biggest deals I ever closed was somebody that I called for 4 years. And 4 years, and half the time he would pick up, he'd be on a golf course. I said, I promised I'd call you and tell you how the real estate market in Austin's going. Do you have time today? Half the time he wouldn't, but he would pick up the phone. And then there was one day that he picked up the phone and was like, you know what, I'm gonna be in Austin tomorrow. I would like to see a few lakefront properties. So I was like, great, let's go. Now his daughter, they're about to buy another one. Like that transaction will be $9 million in 3 transactions.
Awesome.
And that's because I stay consistent, right? Like unless you told me, like this was back from Gold's Gym, it was, you know, I would call until you told me to F off, or you wouldn't join another gym. But if you engaged at one point in time, but never talk to me again, I was gonna keep calling, not bombarding, not every day, until it was the moment that you needed the keys to get into the dressing room.
It's that simple, right?
It is.
What's the longest you ever followed up with somebody before they bought or sold something?
Oh, years, years.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of ranches and they bounce back and forth with their kids. So the kid's gonna take the ranch over, should they sell it now and put it in a trust? And I just would stay in front.
Oh,
You know?
Gary's gone generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The follow up.
Yes,
You know,
generations.
say no.
And if you stay in touch with them,
way they
we
say
stay in
no.
touch with grandpa, then the kids get to see you, and the kids end up selling it.
Yeah.
As soon as grandpa passes away, you know, and I don't mean to be mixed about that, but kids nowadays, they get a ranch, they're gonna sell it. They're not gonna ranch it.
I met a couple, and they were living here. Their kids graduated high school, and I was in Lakeway. This was like 20 years ago. They moved. I still talk to them. They never bought and sold anything, but they've referred all of their neighbors to me over the years, just from following of them from a Lakeway open house. It's so like you just, you know, you develop that kind of relationship, and you can just follow up with people, and like you just nothing bad happens. Only good stuff happens.
I had a lady like that, remember? And it took me like 3 transactions to figure out where
Who
these
she
people
was.
were. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? And they were like, yes, so and so. He worked for Apple, but it was his wife
Yeah.
that was referring me all of this business. And then I was on vacation one day, and I was like, I got to figure this out. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. So went to a listing appointment, and they did not choose me, mainly because I wouldn't go with the price that they wanted. I continued to follow up. He actually ended up buying a house. It didn't work out. The house that I was gonna list didn't sell. And he goes, oh, you know, sorry we didn't get to use you, but I did agree with everything you said. I've already did so-and-so call you. And so he had referred me, even though I didn't get the listing.
Yeah.
But I tend to call when when most people would just shut that off, kill the lead. They went with another opportunity. I know that is further down the road. We didn't have an argument. We didn't have anything. They just chose somebody at the point that gave them the keys to that fit that door better than what I was going to give them. So I just knew there's going to be another door they're going to need to get in, and or they're going to refer me to people that need to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that follow up. We've got like 10, 15 minutes. And we ended up just having kind of like a conversation. Is there anything in particular any questions or anything that you guys would like to know or need to walk out of here with to make sure that we're giving you something worth your time? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is a big one. You just spoke about the CPA example and partnering with local businesses. Can you tell us about your experiences with developing partner relationships and how that's filled your pipeline?
Tractor Supply,
Okay.
and make friends with all the salespeople in there, and you're the realtor, and every time you go in, you wanna say hi to everyone. And then all of a sudden, then they know you're in real estate, and I stop by once every other week. That's where I get my dog food.
Not complicated.
Right.
Right?
That's not
complicated at all.
So the partnership, the vendors that I use, one, I've got to really trust them. Like I got to know. So this goes back to the beginning of our business. There's a lot of people that will give you kickbacks, right? And that they're profiting that much to give you money. So that was never the thing that I wanted. I wanted to give my clients the best deal and the best service. If you do right by them, then I know that you're doing right by me, and I want to lead with, okay, what can I do for your business? Because when I go into those meetings, it's not about what I want. I'm like, what can I do for your business? And does that align? Can I provide that? And then now what could that give me back in return? But really it is, do I believe they align with my mission and beliefs of my team in pouring into our clients more than anything else? Because there's plenty of vendors that will make it sound really good, but it's like, I want the best price with the best service, and I don't want you to upcharge that to pay me something.
Right.
And know that most times I may have another vendor that's the same because I want to keep you honest. So you may not win every single one. Like I'm not just getting one lender, I'm not just getting one roofer or one insurance, because even though they may be my best friend, I'm gonna make sure that they work their ass off and compete because it's for my client. And if they do that, then they'll win more.
But you, in order to get the vendors though, I think if you're just getting started, my personal opinion is that you need to go prove to the other vendors that it's worth their investment in time too. You gotta go do the work, right? I mean, there's no way around that.
Groups, like, so, you know, like if you join the chamber, obviously, and you join, you know, this social group or that social group, I mean, like a strategic participation in your community.
Yeah.
Charity, awesome, you
Yep.
know, that's a really great one. But
I mean,
are the ones that have really built relationships over the years.
so I mean, me is my daughter's school, right?
School.
And truthfully, I'm trying to think. There was like, you can volunteer for the school and not really have kids there. Because like to set up for events, to do things like that, I'm sure you could get a part of the PTA. They would take your $10 donation. and your
Oh,
time,
yes, they will.
Right? So I don't. I'm just kind of thinking through that. I was like, I don't know if you necessarily need to have kids to do that. But if that was in your community that you're farming or the area that you're working, that has been one of my number one things, is becoming more involved in the school. That is, the parents see me more. I'm there setting up for the events. I am sponsoring some of the things. But it's more of my time. I'm lunch buddy. I'm there policing all the kids that they're not throwing food around. So the teachers laugh and kind of give me that experience as well. And also, so I want the teachers to do something, like to have, well, one, because my kids go there. So we set up a program where we're giving our commission back to the teachers if they transact with us on a purchase or a lease. So they don't make enough money, so what we did is we started to do a teacher program where like, hey, is that gonna get them to talk about us more and more brand recognition? For sure, but those people deserve it.
Yeah, 100%.
You give them a portion of it, or you give them of your commission that you're saying?
Yeah, so it's only on the buy or lease. Like on the sell side, we have a different program, and it's a
Sure.
case by case.
Yeah.
That takes a little bit more time and money, but
Yeah.
on those others, we give it all back.
And they gotta talk about
And
it.
how are you doing that? Are you putting it on the DA, or you're paying the taxes on, I mean?
So
how's that
we
work?
would just reduce the price, or we would
Oh, I
allocate it
see
in the
what you're
closing
saying.
costs, and we take 0% after paying our E&O and all that
Yeah,
good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, cause I was gonna
Yeah.
say, how are you paying?
You have to,
Yeah,
you have to collect at least $1 to pay,
Yeah.
and have it covered, that's
There it
right.
right,
is.
right, gotcha, that's what I was curious
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I have a question about, follow-up. You had mentioned when you kill a lead. Do each of you have different ideas on like how often, if you're getting no response, are you just putting them on a drip and always, or do you finally take them out of your database?
You don't ever take anybody out of your database.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Unless they ask to be.
Right.
TCBA.
TCPA.
TCPA compliant way.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
So we do 10 days, and then we move it to the next agent. And so it's just a continual process, but we keep
10
emails
days of
going.
calling, texting, email.
Because we've literally just recently had an agent was doing that, put it back in the pond. 2 hours later, another agent called and got an appointment.
Isn't that crazy?
They're sitting here.
They're sitting in this
They're
room.
sitting in this room.
But that's just how it goes.
That's how it goes. That's right.
But you also have, if you're using, market reports or AI, you put them on there so that because there's different depths that people will investigate real estate. Zillow has this, and then they'll check something, flags your account, and then you know that you can start reaching out to them again. So you never put them to rest. You give them reasons at different levels to initiate conversation or interest that you can track. And that's how you manage a database, right? And so Fellow is a great program. People will go in and, I want to know my market value. And maybe you haven't heard from them in 3 years, but they'll flag and then it goes up, it goes in your CRM, tells you, hey, these people just checked out their price.
This happens all the time.
All the time, 50 times a day.
And you like Fellow?
Fellow's great, Market Reports is great for brevity. There's HomeBot's probably pretty good.
I think Command does some stuff. Yeah. So you get something out going to everybody.
Yeah, and you have to take the time to set that up, right?
Yeah.
But do it because it's couple $100 a month.
Mhm.
And it's a leverage for you when you start to, because you're gonna get leads when you're doing all this work and talking to people, and not everyone's gonna answer the phone, but then all of a sudden they're gonna say, I'm curious what homes are worth over here, and it's gonna let you know.
Yeah.
And then you can 10 days of painting them again, or 3 days of painting, or whatever it is, but also, I mean, you can go drop them a DM on Facebook, by the way, is a really great place to communicate with people right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you first friend them on Facebook, or do you ask them to follow your business?
I friend as many people as I can. Now, when you get to 5,000 friends, you gotta cull the herd a little bit. But
We don't have businesses though. That's only like,
You
Greg
have a
has a
business
business.
Facebook?
Yeah, I don't have a business Facebook. I don't.
recommend it. You should just have one page.
Yeah.
It's too much to worry about.
Yeah, but what you told me the other day, like, I didn't know that existed. You told me to toggle to
Turn into the Facebook creator page. Yeah.
Yes.
And then make
my
yourself.
personal page. So
entrepreneur.
I got rid of my business page, and that's exactly what I did. And then you can link your business Instagram page,
Right.
and they will share with each other, and
Yeah.
you can talk and cross communicate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that until you told me.
Yeah.
It's new. Well, to me, it's new.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish.
But you
Yeah.
got, but that's like
if you
another
haven't
thing you
been
got to
dealing
think
with
about.
it, Yeah.
And how many of y'all are getting 5-star reviews on whatever platform you like to be on the most? Google, Zillow, whatever. Like you gotta pay attention to that too. 100% gotta pay
That was
attention
not.
to
That
that.
was not very many nodding.
Yeah,
If you're
y'all
not
do a
doing
better job of
that, do that. Yeah.
So, like think about your Amazoning or whatever. You're looking at the reviews.
Role play asking people for reviews with somebody.
How intentional are you guys about that? Reviews.
Yeah, how many we have now?
220.
220 on Google right now.
Yeah.
We've focused on that, and then we'll start to toggle back to Zillow and all those, but very purposeful.
Yeah. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
What other questions y'all got? Is this helpful?
Very. Yeah,
Decent
good.
use of time?
Enjoy this.
Good. You guys mind if I take some selfies with y'all in the background? Please? Come on, just big truthy smiles. You guys too.
Tony Robbins.
All right, we're gonna do a couple. Talent, guys, get up here.
Come on.
Y'all are awesome. I hope this was helpful. We're gonna do another one in January. We'll have another lineup of people.
What date is that? 20? Yeah.
October 29th.
29th. So 29th, we're having here, it's going to be basically speed dating for teams. So if anybody is interested or looking for assistance or help or maybe joining your team, you're going to be able to come and meet a lot of teams all at once. So that is 1, 2,
1:30 to 2:30.
there you go, 1:30 to 2:30 on the 29th here if you're open or looking to level up.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you want help?
We're hiring on our team, Greg's team.
Yeah, nice.